So, I want to tell you about something that I do that consistently results in conflict with my kids, and which I see other parents doing as well, so that you can avoid doing it in the future. Okay, so what happens is I am completely convinced that I know exactly what is going on. And unfortunately, I frequently don't. And so I'll give you an example of this. I had asked my younger son to take some posters that he had gotten at the flea market off the coffee table in the living room and bring them to his room. And I'd asked him multiple times over the course of 36 hours, and they were still there. And so I was so convinced that I knew what was going on. It was so obvious to me what was going on. It was that he was shining me on. I was 100% convinced about that. Um, and I was feeling kind of, but I remembered, oh, I get into trouble when I do this. So let me, instead of me saying, move this stuff, why don't you care about me? Instead, what I did was I said, so Murray, I'm wondering, given that you said you'd move these things, they're still on the coffee table. What's going on for you? And he said, yeah. So what I was hoping for was Dad to help me hang the posters up. But every time I go to Dad, he's not available. And so that's why they're still there. But I could move them into my room if they're bothering you. It's just not my preference. And I said, okay, well, I actually please do. And I appreciate you stretching, even though it's not your preference to move them. Because, yeah, I'm really tired of seeing them there. And so that's what he did. He just moved them into his room. And this is so different than me assuming that I know what is happening. I first became aware of this phenomenon when my friend Mickey Cashton told me this story about a mother who is with her small child. I think maybe he's like 4 or 5 years old, and he's holding 2 apples in his hand. And she says, oh, could I please have one? And he takes a bite out of each apple. So I'm going to pause here and let you think about, what's happening? Do you think you know? She thought she knew. When I first heard this story, I'll tell you what I was thinking. I was thinking, what is this kid doing? He's so stingy. He's got 2 apples. He's not willing to share. This is the story running in my head. When the reality actually for the kid was, she says, wait, why did you just take a bite out of both apples? He said, oh, I was finding out which one was sweeter because I wanted to give you the sweeter one. So if we apply this now to a mom that I was working with at a workshop that I did recently, who was so frustrated because she signed her kids up for these after school activities, sports, they cost a lot of money, and she's rearranged her schedule to get them there, and they just at the last minute don't want to go. And so what I invited her to do was to say, hey, kids, I've got a story about what's going on here. And that story is that you don't value these resources that I'm putting out, and the time that I'm putting out and the money that I'm putting out, because you keep, wanting to cancel at the last minute. And I've got all sorts of stories that this means that you're entitled, and you just don't value things that a bunch of other kids would probably really love to be able to do, and they don't have the opportunity to do. And so I'm really scared also about what I'm imparting to you in terms of values, and that the values that I'm wanting to instill in you, I'm actually not being effective at doing that. And so I want to check out, is that story true? Or what is going on for you when it comes to these activities that you cancel at the last minute? And they're just tired, it turns out. They feel overly busy too much in the schedule. That's why they're canceling at the last minute. And that they realized, it sounded like fun, and they'd agree. They said, yeah, we want to do all these things. But the reality, unfortunately, it's not working out that way. They're just too tired. And so that then opens up an opportunity to realize, okay, let's actually cancel some things so that you all can have, it's the downtime that you need, so you can then also enjoy the activities that are going to be less that you do want to do. So the strategies that you can use to check out what's actually going on. For starters, don't assume that the story that you're telling yourself is true. Check it out with your child. You could do that simply by asking a question of, hey, I'm wondering what's going on with the stuff that's on the dining room table, and hear what comes back. Or particularly if you've got a really intense story cooking like this woman did about entitlement and lack of appreciation, you could lead off saying, so I've got this story and I want to check it out with you to see if it's true. All right. May you continue to connect with your children in ways that work for everybody, and may you get lots of peace of mind in terms of understanding what's actually true about how you're perceiving things as opposed to what you're afraid of is true. Bye for now. Me again. If you enjoyed this video and would like to find out more about how to apply what I just discussed in your own family, you might want to get a free Conflict Prevention Jumpstart Kit. The details are in the description of this video. It includes strategies for turning every conflict into an opportunity for more trust and connection without giving up on anything that's important to you.